Hello beautiful people, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluchi and on this channel I share cake business tips, I talk about personal development, I do story time tutorials and vlogs as well, and you're welcome. In today's video I'm going to be showing you or sharing with you what I would do if I had a buttercream wedding cake order. Now it's not very common around here where I live in Nigeria, but we've seen it a few times, and it's something that is beginning to gain traction. It's something that is beginning to, people are beginning to buy into. So if you have a buttercream wedding cake order, I think and I know that the things I'm going to be sharing in this video will surely help you on how to smash this without fears. So if this is something you're interested in, you definitely want to keep on watching because I'll be right back. You're welcome back. So we're talking about buttercream wedding cake orders. Now I'm using myself as an example because I haven't done it before. I haven't had a wedding cake order before. But if I had one, this is what I would do, or these are the things that I would do, and this is how I would go about it. It's going to be different from from a fondant wedding cake order, because I'm assuming that probably the flavors are different. So I want to work you through having like different flavors. Okay, I know that I've said that fruit cake is the best for wedding cake. Around here we just stick with fruit cakes, at least to a greater percentage. I know that some people do some other flavors, but in this scenario I'm going to put myself in your shoes, but assuming that I am the baker that has the wedding cake orders and I'm playing around with other flavors. So if I have a wedding for Saturday and I have them in and the client does not want fruit cake, yes, I'm making like maybe red velvet, coconut and vanilla. Okay, so let's say these are the flavors that I have, or let me add chocolate in the mix. Example, I have chocolate, red velvet, vanilla and coconut. I know that I've talked about these things, but I am just trying to paint a scenario and help us to work through this. Okay, now these are the 4 flavors I have, and it's a 3-tiered cake, a 12, a 10 and a 6. What I would do would be to bake my cakes on say on a Monday. I can bake my cakes on a Monday, assuming that power supply is okay. I will bake my cakes on a Monday or Tuesday and allow them cool. Now once they're cool, I am going to freeze them. I'll wrap them up in a cling film and I'm going to freeze them, put them in my freezer. Please, if you hear any noise in the background, there's some construction going on, please bear with me. Okay, so the next thing I would do would be to prepare my buttercream. I would prepare the buttercream that I need, calculate and know what quantity of buttercream that I'll be needing for each tier. Of course, they're not going to be regular cakes, they're going to be tall cakes. I don't like making flat or short cakes, so they're going to be tall cakes, and I'm going to calculate with my team the quantity of buttercream that will need to cover each tier for the filling, and then for the frosting as well, for the covering as well. So the next thing I would do would be to ensure that I have everything I need, so a central dowel rod and the plastic dowel rods as well. I prefer to use plastic dowel rods because they are more sturdy, they have more strength, and I prefer using them for wedding cakes basically. Okay, so these are the things that I'm going to have, ensure that I have everything ready. Now going by this, let's assume that the clients have just said, I want a 3-tier wedding cake, I want a floral beauty or floral cake. I would also check with the florist shop. I'll check with my florist or check with the flower shop to be sure that they have flowers for that period. It's not as if I cannot reach out to others, but I prefer just working with this particular people that I work with. So I'll find out from them or make my bookings ahead. I'll need this amount of roses, I'll need this amount of flowers, and I'll be picking up, or I would like to have it delivered on Friday evening or at Friday evening to avoid issues. So these are the things I'm going to be doing as regards flavor and the preparation. Now the second thing I'm going to be talking about will be the designs. I would like to do a textured wedding cake because it's easier for me to handle just in case anything happens. So if there's a dent or there's anything happening in when you're delivering the cake, you can easily work with a textured cake. Now textured cake could be your palette knife texturing, it could be a utensil texturing, it could be palette painting texturing where you have flowers on the body It could be maybe like watercolor effects, anything texturing I would love. And this is me assuming that my clients did not give me a particular design. They just said, I want a 3-tier buttercream cake. So I'm going to go for textured designs, and also, like I mentioned, floral designs. Even if the client did not say, oh, I want a floral beauty or I want a floral cake, I would prefer to go with flowers. I love flowers. I think flowers pair very well with wedding cake, and I also love using flowers when it comes to my cakes. The third thing I'll be talking about is the venue. Now, I would like to make inquiries. This is not a birthday cake. Even with birthday cake, we don't take chances. We want to know the details down to the T. Talk more of a wedding cake. Okay, so I'm going to ask where the venue is, know the distance between my house to the venue, or know how far it is from my location or my studio, not my house, from my location to the venue. Also important is to note if it will be an indoor or an outdoor event. So if it's an indoor event, you are covered to a great extent. But if it's an outdoor event and the weather temperature is hot, and then you have some concerns. You should have some concerns and you should be worried. And this is where your professional status comes in, because then you can advise. The weather is hot. I do not think a buttercream would be fine. I do not think a buttercream, I don't think we should go with the buttercream design, or this is what we can do, or that is what we can do. Sometimes the client will bend on, this is really what I want to do. I want a buttercream design. I'm not a fan of fondant. I don't want fondants. I want buttercream designs. In that case, and probably they're having it outdoors, they're having it close to the beach, and you know that the weather is hot, and you're using American buttercream, not even Swiss American buttercream in this case, and then you want to advise. Don't just keep it and say, oh, it's fine, oh, we can take care of it, we'll handle it, and then you go and put your cakes out there in the sun for hours. Okay, so what you can advise in this place, what you can advise is for them to do the cutting early enough, but I think I should be coming to that later on, okay? So it'd be good for you to know where the venue is and whether it's an outdoor event or an indoors event. Even if it's indoors, you want to put your cake in a safe place and make sure that it is close to the cooling unit, it's close to the AC, it is in the cool place, it's not in a part of the hall that is hot, where something can easily happen to your cake. Please make sure that you find out these details. The fourth thing I'll be talking about will be the delivery. Now, I've seen a couple of bakers here in Nigeria who stack their wedding cakes from their bakeries down to the reception venue. I wouldn't do that as a person. You have to know what works for you, okay? So I'm not going to stack that. I might stack 2 at most, but I think I'll just be comfortable with having to box my cakes individually and transport them to the venue, and then when I get to the venue, I do my stacking. That is what I would do. I wouldn't stack from the house, I wouldn't stack from my bakery, I wouldn't stack from my studio. It's safer for me with the nature of our roads and the traffic and everything to stack, and the kind of drivers we have here, to stack at the venue. So I would box my 12 separately, box my 10 separately, box my 6 separately, and when I get to the venue, I would start. So the fifth thing, like I mentioned in the other video, is to have a checklist of everything that I use in baking that cake that I'll be taking to the venue as well. So don't say it's a buttercream cake, I can just go with a few items, or I can just go, it's okay, when I get to the venue, it's just for me to stack and that'll be all, or to stack and put my flowers and that'll be all. Please go with everything that you use, basically everything. If you use wafer paper or you use rice paper to make seals, please go with some extras. You know that rice paper breaks, right? Okay, so go with some extras, go with extra supplies, extra buttercream, your color, everything that you need, basically your florist wires, anything that you've used on the cake. Please just write them down and take them along and go with you. So let me backtrack a bit. I was talking about the timeline earlier when I made mention of the first point. So that's baking on like a Monday or Tuesday and then freezing. I would cover, for the covering, I would cover on Friday. Friday is better for me, so I'm just going to clear my timetable. I'm just going to clear my schedule and leave that Friday for working on the cake. So in the morning of Friday, I will start covering my cake. I'm not doing anything on Saturday. I'm not covering anything on Saturday. I'm going to cover on Friday and box them individually. I'm also going to get the height of the individual cakes so that I can get my dowel rod ready. I can make my dowel rod ready, okay? So this is what I'm going to be doing on Friday, covering the cake and then knowing the height, the total height, to enable me cut the good length for my dowel rod, and also individual dowel rods for the tiers. Now this is what I'm going to be doing. So on Saturday morning, I appear at my bakery, I appear at my studio, I carry my cakes, carry the extra supplies, carry the dowel rod, carry the individual dowels. I can dowel at my studio the individual dowels, and when I get to the venue, I complete everything. So these are the things that I would do if I had a buttercream wedding cake order that is not a fruit cake. And I believe that this video has been of great help to you. Please let me know if it has, and drop me your kind comments as well. I would also love to know if you were the one in my shoes, or if you were to be found, or if you were to find yourself in this kind of situation, you have a buttercream wedding cake order. What are you going to do? How are you going to go about it? Are you going to follow my method, or are you going to try something else that will work for you? I would love to know in the comments. So thank you so much for joining me for this video. Thank you for watching up till now. I believe that you gained value. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, like this video if you found value, like this video and share with those in your caking communities, and tell your friends about this channel as well. Okay, until I see you in the next video, stay happy, stay safe and stay blessed.